guys, welcome. I am sorry that I'm like 2 minutes late. Facebook changed things on me and I had to figure out how to go live in here now. Let's see if I can. There we go. That's where I want it because I want you guys to see the bins. So welcome to this VIP exclusive Facebook Live. I'm going to be talking all about color coding your classroom. I got all of my stuff out. I'm ready to show you everything that I've color coded. You're going to see a lot of links for the resources that I've created and above in the text above. And I will let you know what links are what. They do kind of say, but I'll let you know, okay, that link is above. It's titled this. So let's get started. When I first started teaching self-contained, it was my first time teaching self-contained. And I knew nothing of color coding and I just kind of went into it. And halfway through that school year, for whatever reason, I went to Lakeshore Learning and I was like, I really like these bins. I think I'm gonna buy these bins. And then I got them and then something in my mind clicked and I was like, I'm gonna give my kids a color and I'm gonna make everything color coded because it's gonna make my life easier. And I really had no idea what I was doing, but for some reason it worked. And it worked because it was simple. It was simple for me to figure out. It was simple for me to share with my paras, for my paras to implement with the kids. It was simple for the kids to figure out. And it really, really worked. It literally changed my entire teacher life when it came to color coding the classroom. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about are what bins that I have in the classroom and what I use them for. What I store in them, what the kids do with them, how I choose colors and all of that fun stuff. So you see a bunch of bins right here behind me. These bins are all from Lakeshore Learning. So these are their traditional colors. These are the book bins. Okay, I have them stacked inside of each other. They all come with the little pockets on the front. These ones don't have anything in them because my kids' name are in them. These ones I have not used yet. These are their newer neon colors, which I bought because sometimes we have more than 6 kids in a class, and I've had more than 6 kids in a class at a time, and I'll explain kind of how I worked through that with only 6 colors. But I use these for just their point of reference bins to store everything in that came, and I'm going to show you all their stuff. If they had like a clipboard, they had sight work pockets, if they had a Velcro strip, or anything that they needed that was specific to them that they could use throughout the day in anything, then I would put them in this bin. And they knew that it was their bin because it was their color, and I also had their names put on the front. And I also had, if they liked robots or something, I would put their name with a robot. So it would make it more fun for them, right? I would personalize them a little bit at the beginning of the year. These bins right here, I call them the shoebox size bins. They pretty much are the size of a shoebox. They are in these 6 colors only that I am currently aware of. They have not come out with them in the neon colors, which are what the other bins are, the newer bins, which since I'm aware of, as of right now, I have not seen these in the neon colored bins. I use these for work bins. I use these for IEP bins. So if I have, ew, there's bugs in it from sitting in my garage. That's gross. Let's find a different color. There's bugs in this one too. All right. So if I call them IEP bins, work tasks, work bins, task bins, whatever you want to call them. Everybody calls them different things. I call them like 400 million different things too. I use this specific bin for IEP work. It's color coded. So this would be the blue student's bin. Anything inside of this bin will relate directly to a child's IEP goal, something that they're working on. If they're working on money, there would be fake coins in here or real coins, something that if there were a couple of free minutes throughout the school day where they needed something to do, they could come grab this and kind of work with it. It's kind of the same as like a work bin or a task bin, but it's IEP bin related. And I would just kind of keep these. I had a bookshelf at the back and I would keep them on the other side of the bookshelf. It wasn't something that we used academically, but at the end of the day when we had IEP work time, if I was working specifically with another student, I could have a para take another student or another 2 students and grab their IEP bins and have things to work on with them. So that is what I used these bins, this bin size for. Now I'm going to move these up here just so I can pull these too. Now these are, I don't know what size you would call them. These are the lids. So you have to purchase the lids separately. You don't need the lids for what I use them for. I purchased the lids because when you're working at like the back table, we always worked at the back kidney bean table, right? And they have spatial issues. They like to be in my space. They like to be in each other's space. And yes, we would kind of tape off the table for them, but the lids, well, I need a piece of paper. Let's just use this book. The lids are the perfect size for a regular sheet of paper for them to write on. They're hard plastic. You see my window? You can use them for space things like this. If they're working with something that's going to roll off the table, they have this edge where it's not going to roll off. So they're great for if you're working with kinetic sand or beads, or if Theraputty and you put beads in it and they won't roll off because there's edging on it. That's the only reason that I bought these. The lids are, I have a sticker on this one, $2.99 a piece. They do come in the regular colors and the neon colors. Again, these bins are all from Lakeshore Learning. I only use Lakeshore Learning bins because that was the first place, like teacher store, that I stopped at, and I didn't know about Really Good Stuff at the time. I will get into Really Good Stuff because they have so many more colors on their website, and I got their catalog that I'm also going to show you. So these are the neon colors, but this is the size of the bin. It's shallower than the other bins. I put these inside my students' desks. So yes, in a self-contained classroom, in my self-contained classroom, all of my students have their own desk. This is just so they kind of have, they feel like it's theirs. They have all their stuff inside of it. Nobody can mess with it. It's their desk. It has their special schedule, visual schedule taped on it with Velcro. It has their name tag on it. Anything that they need to reference, it is in their desk. So this bin is color coded. So I have the primary colors and I also have the neon colors. I put inside of this if they have, so I say their special schedule, visual schedule is on their desk. Every morning when they come in, we do morning work at their desks. Their desks are facing the front wall where we do calendar. This is where we do our morning workbook. So this is where they're starting their day. Everything they need to start their day is inside of this bin in their desk. Our kids might have some issues with organization. So it's great because I will put this in their desk, and then they also have a pencil box in their desk. The only thing inside of their pencil box are their visual schedule pecs, and their only visual schedule pecs that are in that pencil box are their special schedules, and they only have 6 different specials because there were 2 music teachers and they rotated or something like that. So they had their own visual schedule. They came in, put all their stuff away, sat down, changed their visual schedule, ready to go, took this bin out, got everything they needed. So what would be in here would be like chewies, sensory things that they needed. If you wanted like a sensory rope or a fidget spinner, goodness gracious, a fidget spinner, anything that they needed to sit at their desk would be in here. Headphones, we put headphones in here. Each of my students bring to school their own headphones so we don't have to worry about whose headphones are who. Oh no, something broke. I can let parents know, send the headphones in. They go in here. Nobody else can touch the bright orange bin except the students whose color is bright orange. I would probably call it something different because there's an orange bin here. But that is what I use these sizes for here, are for inside of their desks. So let's talk a little bit more about these ones here. These ones here, I said, are the ones that I'm going to be putting it's kind of random stuff, but it's not. It's stuff that they're going to be using, and I'm trying to pull the orange one out. I should have put it on top first. It's stuff that they're going to be using and accessing throughout the school day. Clipboards that they might need to go to inclusion with a para. It's going to include a bunch of different stuff. So I'm going to show you kind of what goes into these different bins here. And I'm just going to stick them in so you can kind of see how much higher they are. So this is a regular just book bin. The Really Good Stuff ones don't hook onto each other, but they come in more colors. And again, I'll show you, I have the catalog to show you at the end all of the magical stuff that Really Good Stuff has for color coding. Like there's an entire section in their catalog for color coding your classroom. I was freaking out today. So this is just a regular book bin. You could absolutely use it for books. I use it for stuff for my kids. So it sits up on the top of a bookshelf. All the kids have access to it. My kids' names are going to be on the front. A fun little picture that they get to pick out, or a topic, like if they like Finding Nemo, I'll put Marlin and Nemo on here, or Dory and Nemo, and then put their name on it so that they know that it's theirs. It's personalized for them. So we're just going to say, my name is Stephanie. My color in the classroom is orange. So I am going to go every morning, or whenever I say, go get your bin. The teacher says, go get your bin, or go get such and such out of your bin. This is where they're going to go. They're going to go to this bin, only this bin, because it has their name on it and it's their color. So inside of this bin is going to be their inclusion. If they go to inclusion, all my kids went to inclusion. So each kid had their own color-coded clipboard. The kids never did anything with this. It was more for the parents to have a point of reference of where's Stephanie's inclusion documentation form. Well, it's right inside her bin. So it was always in the same place. I always knew where it was. It was never getting misplaced. It was never getting, well, it may have gotten left behind in inclusion, but we always knew where it was. So you can find the link to this inclusion documentation above if you wanted to grab it to use in your classroom. I purchased these clipboards from Erin Condren. They were a little bit more expensive, but they're acrylic and they're going to last a really long time. I put my last name on it so nobody can take them from me, or if I lose one, they know who to return it to. I also did purchase, I think these are the lesson planner covers, and I just put confidential. I didn't put my name on it. I just put confidential information on the front. However, with the inclusion documentation form come covers that you can edit and put names on. So you could easily just use this. It's to cover up all the confidential information underneath. So when you are walking around school with your students' inclusion documentation form, you could easily hide all of this information. So this is what the inclusion documentation form is. I'm just going to show it to you. It is editable for you to add in. I would put their accommodations, forgot the word there for a second. I would put their accommodations here. That way it was personalized, and when I was going through, so this is Stephanie's sheet. These are her only accommodations that she has. So if you had more, you would make the font smaller and just check off what we used today. Today, the support time, you'd write what time you went, what services were provided, what accommodations were provided, and then I would print this front back and then put additional comments on the back. This would go in their bin. And I did see a question about using regular, like the cheaper clipboards and using duct tape. I have used the cheaper clipboards. I didn't use duct tape. However, I did take cardstock, color-coded. I cut cardstock from like Michael's, although you could use Astro Brights. And I just used clear packing tape and taped it onto the front and back. So at the bottom strip, because you know they're longer than regular sheets of paper, you could see at the bottom what color it was, and then you could just peek at the front cover. I honestly never used this. I always use these. So that way I knew whose it was and we were good to go. So this goes inside of their bin. Okay, color-coded bin. The next thing that's going to be included inside of their bin is a token board, or if they have a first then board, this one is actually done. But it comes, this one is free on my blog. If you click the link for shrink film, which is what this is here, and I'll explain it here in a hot second, there is a link for a free token board, and I think there's a free visual schedule in there too. So these are token boards. I would put them in all of my students' bins, whether they use them or not. You never know if the day is going to come where today a student is going to need to use a token board to access something in the classroom, to gain privileges to something. So it was something that I just made for each of my kids and had it in their bins because it's something really simple to make. I talked about their colored sticks. So these are just paint sticks that I got for free at Home Depot. I think they keep them behind the counter now, but I'm sure if you were like, hey, I'm a teacher, I just need 6 sticks, paint sticks, can you spare some? I think that they would let you have some paint sticks. I got regular paint from Michael's, like the 99-cent bottle, and just painted them the primary colors, put some Velcro on them, and these are their checks for the token board. Now, you can also use this for a visual schedule, and I'll show you another color here that I did. But these checks, instead of being paper, laminated paper, it's actually shrink film. And what it looks like when you print it, now these are also on the blog, so if you click on the shrink film link above, it's going to take you to my website. You can download these in the website. This is shrink film, so it's kind of like plastic. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna print on it like normal, and then you bake it in the oven. And I think there's a how to do it on the blog post. If not, there's definitely a video. Super simple. They go from this size to this size, and they get really, really hard. So these last a lot longer than the laminated packs that we may use. So I use these instead of regular ones because they're so small, like regular paper, for the token boards and the if then boards. So this is just an extra copy of that I had. What's also going to go inside of their bin, okay, this is a student's bin, are their, these are sight word. Is there any sight words in here? There are. So I would put sight word note cards, nothing special, literally just take note cards and write the words on them. And then we're working on these ones, so I'm gonna stick them in this pocket. All this pocket is a regular folder. Now this one I laminated. Each kid is gonna have a laminated folder inside of their bin, just in case they need to take anything home or there's work that needs to be done, they were absent. That's super important. Other than that, I don't care if they miss absent work. All you're gonna do is, I just pretty much made it like, you can see it. It's just like the 10-cent folder you get at Staples or Office Depot back to school time. I cut a little circle up and then I laminated it, folded the top over, so this is the pocket part, okay? And then folded it down and Velcroed it so it stays together. Now I can keep all of their note cards, the sight words that they're working on. And I did write on one. Where is it? So my sight words. And I don't have to write Stephanie's sight words on it because it's orange. Okay, now if I have more than 6 students, I'm gonna write the name on it. And then the one side is for words I know and the other side is for words to practice. Then I can send this home. If parents wanna practice with sight words, send it home, bring it back. It's in their bin. I can say, grab your sight words from your bin. They know their sight words are in this pocket. Again, super simple hack, like 10 cents. You can laminate these folders so you don't have to buy the poly folders, which I do have as well. I stock up on stuff at back to school time when it comes to color coding binders, and I'll share where I get all my binders and things. So this is just a poly folder. I keep it, it's something that I just kind of stocked up on. I have 2 laminated folders and then a nicer orange folder. So I have a bunch of different folders that I don't keep them in their bin all the time, just one. But when I packed all of my stuff to move to Georgia, I put all of my color coding stuff in one bin so I knew exactly where it was. So their folders are gonna stay in their bin. Something else that is going to go in their bin are their communication stickers. These are communication stickers for data collection. Now this is not something that the students are going to be doing. This is something that you or the parent is going to be doing. They can help you put them on. But the communication stickers, which are also linked above, it just says communication stickers for data, and there's a link. That's what this is. All you do is you print the stickers on your Avery label. You can print out these strips. I cut them into strips. I put a hole punch at the top. That way I know that these are what I typically use with Stephanie. These are Stephanie's communication stickers that I use most of the time. So Stephanie's using data collected, work completed independently, modified assignment, work completed in a small group, grade improvement, extended time. So I'm only choosing a couple of stickers, ones that I use the majority of the time. They're gonna go in Stephanie's bin. So I can say, Stephanie, go get your communication stickers. And they know communication stickers is, here it is, stick it right in, and they can put it back in the bin for me and kind of help them clean up. So it gives them ownership over it. They have their own bin. All of their stuff is in their bin. They know what each part of it is. Now at the beginning of the school year, you do have to kind of go with them, and it takes like 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes longer, for them to get used to what different parts of things are in their bin. But once they get it, it makes it so easy for the rest of the school year. You come back from winter break and you're like, all right, Stephanie, go get your data bin, your data collection stickers, and they bring this back to you. Okay, so it makes life so easy. Stephanie, go get me your sight word pocket. Here it is. Let's get your sight words out from the words that you don't know. They can get them out. Here are their word cards. And once they know them, they go over here. Stephanie, don't forget to take home your sight words from your bin. Put them in your backpack. She can go grab this from the bin, stick it in the backpack, and then bring it back the next day. So it's kind of training parents too, so don't forget to send that back, please. But it's something easy that they learn how to do. It's an access point for them, and it really is going to make your life so simple. So that's what goes into a bin. Now you can put other things in there. I do have color-coded pointers. I have, which I got at like Target in the party aisle. They had pointer fingers. They're just tiny. I also got glasses with no lenses, and we can use them for reading. Like pretend like, let's put our glasses on and let's read. The kids think that's so much fun. So they all have their own pair of glasses in the bin. I could not find them in my bins downstairs before I came up here to do this live, but I do have a bunch of other little things like that that go in the bins, kind of make it personalized for each kid. When it comes to storing glue, well, we do glue sponges, but I found these at Lakeshore before we moved from Houston to Atlanta. I found these at Lakeshore, and I'm going to give them a shot this year. They have these bins. Now, they were $20, so they were kind of expensive, and I'm like, so I haven't opened them yet. Haven't opened them so I can return them. But they're like the perfect size to stick a sponge in and do glue sponges. They don't have their own lids. So I'm really excited to try these out. We are going to be making glue sponges on Thursday at this time. So if you're around and you want to make glue sponges and see how super easy it is, we're going to be doing that. But when it comes to pencils and scissors, and if they have like weighted gear or special crayons that they're using, like the triangle crayons, what I buy are the little cups. You can buy them in this little setup here. Again, this is from Lakeshore Learning. Again, since I bought all this before I knew about really good stuff. But I'm going to show you the catalog for really good stuff again. This is all that I use. This is a caddy. It sits, so we pretend we're at a kidney bean table. I'm the teacher. The kids, you guys are my kids, sitting in front of me. Behind me was a bookshelf. On this end over here are where the kids' bins are. The bookshelf is just books underneath it. So I can say, Stephanie, go get such and such out of your bin. If we're doing morning work in the morning, so every morning we do calendar at the front board. We do our morning work binder at our desk. When we're finished with that, they put it in a bin, they come to the back table, and then they're gonna cut out the day of the week. So today is Tuesday. They would have a sheet that says Tuesday. They have to cut the letters out and paste them in order. That's a freebie in my shop. I didn't link it above. I'll link it in the comments after this, but that's a free activity. I have the months of the year on my website in the resource library. But they're gonna need scissors. They're gonna need a pencil or a marker or a crayon or something to write their name. I don't have one big supply bin. I give each of my kids their own bin. So what they do when they come back and I say, okay, go get your scissors, they don't come and grab just a pair of scissors. They're gonna come to me, back to the back table, with their entire cup, because it helps keep the table organized. When I have 7 kids sitting at the back table, or even 3 kids, if I have scissors here and a pencil here and something else here and something else here, that's chaotic. And that's not really, like, for me, that's not a good way for me to start the day. It's too much chaos. Keeping it organized, they all have to keep all of their stuff in their bin. So after they write their pencil, the pencil goes back into this cup. Once they need their scissors, they pull their scissors out, cut the letters out, put them back when they're finished. Everything goes back in this cup. We keep mostly just pencils and scissors, markers, crayons. We do have a community crayon bin, only because we use, in the classroom, we use the twistables with the, it's like a, what are they called? I think they're called twistables. Twistable crayons. I love twistable crayons because they have that extra fine motor task attached to it. To get the crayon out of the plastic container, they have to twist the bottom. And then they really can't break the crayon as easily because it's plastic. So they're all in one bin. The markers, we all share a bin. But if they have a specific color that they like to use, or if I need to highlight the box so they know where to paste something, or highlight the letters or the outsides of the letter boxes so they know, have a frame of reference for cutting, I'll put a color in here of their choice, and then they'll bring me this and I'll sit and I'll do it really quick, and then they'll put it back, they'll get their scissors out and cut. So anything like that at the back table goes in here. If they need it at any other point of the day, it's always back behind the back table. They are allowed behind the back table to get things, but they can't just walk over and get it. Like, they have to be invited, I guess, behind the back table to get their bin. The glue sponges also sit behind me next to this. So when they are finished cutting, they put their cup back because they've already written their name. They've already cut it out. They're ready to glue now. They go put their cup back. The glue sponges sit right next to it. They grab a glue sponge, go sit down, glue it up, put the glue sponge away, and then their paper is ready. They put it in their mailbox and it's ready to go. Guys, there's a deer across the street. I'm sorry, I'm like, squirrel, but it was a deer. How cute. Other things that I color code in the classroom. So you can see here, these are all of my color-coded bin supplies. My sight word pockets. This one has a visual schedule actually in it. This is the visual schedule that comes in the blog post with the shrink film. So you can see I did this with shrink film. And I did see somebody ask, are the edges sharp? When you cut it out, if you cut a rounded corner, it's gonna stay like that. I cut these just for a sample to show how to do this on the video that I did. So these ones are a tiny bit pointy. You could take a file and file them down, but if you cut the edges rounded before you put them in the oven, they're gonna come out round edges, so they won't be super pokey. They're not super pokey now, but if they have a visual schedule on something like this or in a binder, it's either gonna be in their desk or in their bin so they know where to grab it. Token boards, folders, their paint sticks. So you could use these for so many other things other than token boards, but you have this as well. This is just my pile of things that belong in these bins. Here are my other, again, I got these from Erin Condren. They were kind of expensive, but I have used the cheaper ones and just taped color-coded cardstock on there. So these are my other clipboards that go along with that. The last thing, I don't think it's really the last thing. It's not. I have two more things that I actually have with me that are color-coded. They're communication notebooks that go to and from home. They also have color-coded covers, so I'm able to easily grab, say like, okay, I need to write this in for Stephanie. She needs another change of clothes. So I can easily, without even like having to really look for it, I can just grab the orange one. Stephanie's color is orange. Grab the orange one, quick reference check the cover in case I have more than 7 kids, and just flip to the day, write that she needs more stuff, and then be on my way. I don't have to look through 7 different covers or whatever because it's color coded. It's an easy visual grab for you as the teacher, for the parents, and for the kids. Other things that I do color code or have color coded in the past are my reading toolkits. I'm not sure if I linked it above. If I did, the reading toolkit blog post is going to be above. If not, I will link it in the comments after. These are the old folders that I used for reading toolkits. Again, bring back to school and keep home. These just flipped up. I did get these at Lakeshore Learning. I have since upgraded from these to cheaper bags, which you will see in the reading toolkit blog posts that are from Really Good Stuff, and I will show you those as well in the catalog. So those are also color-coded. Anything with the student's name on it is color-coded. It has their color, their name on it. It's great to practice their name because they need to know what their name looks like. Not only do they need to be able to spell it, but they need to be able to recognize it. So those are also color-coded. The one thing that is color-coded in the classroom that my students do not touch at any point are their Iep binders. And these are the Iep binders. These are linked above. So the colors, you get all of the colors and all of the things that I'm going to show you inside. Color-coded Iep binders. These make my life. I mean, if anything, like color-coding bins and things like that is fantastic, but this really puts the icing on the cake when it comes to having you organized as the teacher. So pretend that it's 3 o'clock, okay? Contract time to go home is 3:30. And a parent all of a sudden walks in and it's 3:15 and you're, kind of ready to go. You're just kind of hanging out, maybe cleaning things up, getting things ready for the next day. Admin walks in, they're like, Stephanie's parents are here. She wants to have a quick meeting with you. Is that okay? Like, well, not is that okay because you don't really have a choice, right? But grab her stuff, let's go. And you, in the moment, you're like, oh my gosh, it's 3:15. I can leave in 15 minutes, but I can't because I have a meeting. So now not only are you frazzled, but you have to gather all of her data at once, and get ready to go to this quick meeting with a parent. What makes it easier is having an Iep binder that's ready to go. So you come tell me at 3:15, admin walks in, Stephanie's mom's here, let's go have a meeting. Yeah, I'm still frazzled because I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Holy moly. But I don't have to go and collect data from everywhere. I pull her binder off my bookshelf behind my desk and it's ready to go. So what's inside of this are the progress monitoring rings. So I actually have 2 different ones in here for whatever reason. I guess I lost one and then found it. These are free on TPT. They're also free on my website. This is how I keep data. And next, I believe one day next week, check the events here. I'm going to be scheduling out next week's lives. I'm going to do an event, a live event here, VIPs only, for progress monitoring. So how I use this and all that fun stuff. But I can quickly grab their IEP binder rings, stick them in the front cover, have all their data, and it's ready to go. What else is going to be inside of this binder are the students' goals and objectives. I keep these in page protector sleeves. It don't need to be anything fancy. Excuse me, if you wanted to laminate them and hole punch them and stick them in here, you could easily do that as well. Or if you wanted to print it on a black one on colored paper, you could easily do that too. I print it on white, personal preference. So I have goals and objectives are gonna be in here. I'm gonna print them. I am very paper pencil. All the IEPs that I've ever written are written digitally. They're all on like IEP Online, IEP Writer. I mean, every state is different with what they call their online IEP system. But I need a paper pencil copy of their goals and objectives. I like to just have it for easy reference if someone comes in, if the computer's down or the internet's down or God forbid something gets erased. I have a hard copy of this student's goals. Yes, they're in the CUME file at district. Yes, they're in the CUME file in the office. But I don't want to have to go get the key from admin to get into that office. I don't want to have to drive to the district building to have to get into the CUME file to get the goals and objectives. I have my own copy in this binder. I also keep their progress reports. I only keep their most recent progress reports, so I will shred the progress reports from the previous marking periods after, because, well, at least in Texas, they show up like marking period 1, here's what you wrote. Marking period 2, here's what you wrote. So it shows up on the same, so I don't need to keep copies of each week or each marking period. I keep that all in here. I keep that easy reference for meetings and things like that. It's very, very convenient. Then I keep marking period 1. What I keep inside of here are all of the students' work samples from that marking period. So there's gonna be one for marking period 1, marking period 2, marking period 3, marking period 4. Now these covers are editable. The link is above. They're editable if you call it semester 1 or you call it quarter 1 or marking period 1, or you have 6 periods instead of whatever. You can make these to whatever you need them to say. We call them marking periods, so I have them marked as periods. What is inside here, I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna clip it out. I don't keep all student work. I keep student work that is either an outlier for the normal data. So it's either something that maybe we're coming back from a break and I need to keep track of this data for potentially ESY purposes to see if their regression is strong enough for that. Or if it's something that they did really, really well with, and I can kind of keep notes on that. So like, this was the time of day we did it, things like that. But then I also keep things that are in the middle that they're working on, that I'm keeping data on actively. So I put it all in here. How I do it during the week, I have another bin. It's like this, but it's just a Starlight bin. It's clear. I keep it behind me at the kidney bean table. Anything that I'm gonna save from my kids, I stick it in there throughout the week. At the end of the week, I'm gonna go through all of it and see what pieces of paper, what pieces of work I'm gonna keep. And then the pieces that I'm keeping, I put in here at the end of every single week. And then the rest of it goes home with the students on Monday. This gives me a great point of reference. So every week my data, my work samples are here. It is a strong reflection of what the students are currently working on, where they started, what they're gonna be working on, what the goals they're working on. This is where I start. At the end of every year, when marking period 1, 2, 3, and 4 are filled up, if the student is staying with me, I will take all of their work samples, put them in a file folder, and stick them in my filing cabinet. If the student is moving up, I do the same thing, except I will take, if I've had them for a couple of years, I'll take all of their file folders, which I usually try to condense them and put them all in one, put all of their work in one, and then that goes up to the next school, the middle school, with that child. So I'm actually sending, not only are they getting, the IEP going up, but they're also getting work samples so they know exactly what the student is working on, what level they are, what I'm using to assess these goals, different things like that. It really helps. So IEP binders that are color-coded. There's a moth. So I have just different colors. So where do I get my color-coded binders? Where do I find these binders? Because throughout the school year, you can't really find them, I will be honest. When Target starts putting out their back to school stuff, yeah, it's usually really early. So like within this week, next week, they'll probably start putting out their back to school stuff. The last 2 summers, yes, they have had these bins, very similar to these bins, color coded. Walmart has also had them, but Target, specifically Target, has had a section at the front of their back to school stuff where it's all color coded, whatever. Like they don't call it color coded, but they have like, this is all purple stuff, and this is all green stuff, and this is all red stuff. And I'm like, yes, give me one of each color binder. I'm gonna grab, so I have actually 2 sets of binders. I have a set where all of my kids' stuff are in it, and then I have an extra set. Just in case something happens, I get an extra student, or I need to put Stephanie's work in another orange binder. I don't have to go pay $13 on Amazon to get a 1-inch orange binder. Like, that's ridiculous. So when back to school comes, I stock up on everything color coded. I stock up on definitely binders if they have, anything that is color coded that I'm going to use, not just everything color coded, but anything that I'm going to use, definitely binders I'll stock up on and keep like at least 1 extra than what I'm going to need, because they are really hard to find throughout the school year. Now for IEP binders, I only use 1-inch binders. Oh look, Jeffrey has his own and Jackson, and I think Zoe does too. But I just stock up when back to school comes, or if I see them on sale somewhere, because I have paid $10 for this orange one. I had to find it mid-year because I had 7 kids, and I had a kid come in mid-year and his color was going to be orange, and I needed 2 orange binders and I didn't have them. And the only place that I could find one the cheapest was like $10 or $13 on Amazon. So I had to suck it up because my classroom is color coded. And that's kind of the story there. So I stock up whenever I see them. They're usually $2 or $3. Have back to school, which isn't that big of a deal. When it comes to what I do when I have more than 6 kids, or I have 6 colors. One year I had 7 kids, and it happened in the middle of the school year. So starting out, I had 5 kids. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I had bought the 6th bin just in case, and then I got a 6th student, and I was like, cool, we're good, we're full. Got a 7th student, I was like, darn it. I go to Lakeshore Learning. How I determine what color to repeat with another student is very dependent on the child coming in, their ability level, and the child's color that I'm doubling ability level. So if a student has difficulty recognizing their name, I'm not going to share that color bin with another student. So typically I'll share, so say for instance, Stephanie is one of my higher level students in my class. Okay, she might be in 4th grade on 1st grade level, but she's one of my higher level students. She knows the color orange, she knows her name, she knows where her stuff is. I have a student coming in, I'm gonna give them orange because I know Stephanie is able to, 1, emotionally be able to handle somebody walking up to another orange bin and grabbing things out of it without Stephanie thinking that that's her bin, that's her stuff. So it's really, I'm very, very specific with what colors I double up on when I have more than a color of bin. Does that make sense? It's very student driven. So that particular year I had 7 kids. I had 6 colors. I had 2 orange because the kid that I got was a higher level kid. I told him that your color is orange coming in. He knew that his stuff was orange. The other child who came in was a student who had been in my class the previous year. She knew that her color was orange. She knew how to identify the color. She knew her name. She knew where all of her stuff was. And I just looked at her and I said, Stephanie, this is your color, but this friend is coming into the classroom. His color is also going to be orange. So when you look for your stuff or when you're asked to get something out of your bin, make sure it has your name on it. And that was it. And it was fine. And we didn't have any issues. So I like to really talk to my kids about it and also make sure they're okay with sharing the color, because had I had the student who came in, if I shared his color with like another student coming in, it would have been a disaster. So it was just something where I really had to think about the dynamics of my classroom and figure it out. I will never change a color on a kid mid-year. I won't change a color if a kid is staying in my classroom. I won't change their color for the length that they're in my classroom. I keep it One year you're purple, next year you're purple. The next year you're here with me, you're purple. Until you go to middle school, if they do color coding, you might get a new color. But when you're in Miss D's classroom, your color is purple. And it really helps, you know, the kids to just have a sense of ownership over their own things in the classroom. It doesn't confuse them. So one year I was purple and then this year they're blue. And they might forget, like, even mid-year, they're thinking, okay, go to the purple bin because that's what they were last year. I don't want to confuse my students. I want to make it as easy as possible for them. So really quick, what questions do you have about color coding? I need to share with you the Really Good Stuff catalog. I got this in the mail today. Not kidding, today. So in this, the very first page were these seat covers for the backs of seats. I have used this with one student in particular. I didn't have it color coded because he was the only student who used it. And I put his communication binder in here at the end of the day because with this in the desk and the their pencil box with their PECs inside of it, the binder did not fit in the desk. So I got him one of these. Wasn't color coded, but I put his communication binder in there at the end of the day, and then in the morning he could grab it out of his seat. If he needed to put it away, he knew to put it away on the back of the seat. So you have that option. And then, so like I said, Really Good Stuff has a lot more colors when it comes to options for color coding your classroom. Look at this rainbow. Like, have I not been so invested in the bins that I currently have, I would definitely be, I'm kind of want to restart over and like get new bins, but I'm not going to. These are all different colors that they have. You can buy them all in one color if you want to keep your color one color, but these are all different colors that they have. They have the book bins. They have different sizes of bins, more sizes than Lakeshore has. And like I said, if you were here in the middle, they have an entire section. Oh man, where is it? Oh, they have color-coded, look. They have clipboards that are already color-coded. They are, for 6 clipboards, $27. So that's not terrible, but you could easily go to the Dollar Tree and get dollar ones and put cardstock on them. But those are acrylic, right? Wipe clean plastic clipboards. So they're gonna last a really long time. These are the bins that I do for, where is it? Right here for reading toolkits. Instead of the ones that I showed you, this is what I use. I use Staples Better Binders. That way I could pick 12 different colors. Yeah, so Staples, they do have different colored binders. Office Depot has all the different colored binders. But sometimes they're $6, they're like $6 and $7 for a binder, and I'm just not about that life. But they do have all the different colors. I just stock up at one time at back to school because I know that they've had them in the past. All right, are you guys ready for this? Nobody does color coding like we do. That's literally what it says. Stop it right now. Look at all this. Look at all these things. So you have partitions over here. What's on the bottom? File folders, clips, okay? You have the desk backs if you didn't want to get the black ones, if you wanted regular color ones. The poly folders here, which I'm going to do a live on how to make your own version of these too, so you could easily color code them. Large group colors, magnetic pockets for like your whiteboard or filing cabinets. It keeps going, guys, it keeps going. I have this carpet and I love it. They have these Storytime cushions for like, if you do story time and your kids aren't at a table, they're sitting on the floor. If you don't have a rug, like up here to kind of give them their own sense of space, they have these things here. If you don't use carpets or like sit spots, they have carpet markets, which are probably similar to sit spots. This is similar to the mailbox that I use. Mine is not color coded. However, I put their names in color coded paper on the sides of the mailbox, just like this. I think I got mine at Target though. But this one is actually color coded, which would be fantastic. You have, if you wanted to do reading toolkits, you have actually color coded ones. You even have color coded, I mean, everything. They have the baskets for, or the bins or the cups, whatever you want to call them. So they have those, and that's all that's showing there. But they have the bins in all of these different sizes. So you can easily do this if you have a class bigger than 6 or bigger than 6 colors, or you don't like those 6 primary colors. Really Good Stuff has, I mean, they've got you covered. They have, I mean, they're just beautiful. So, also I did want to mention, linked above is a pre-sale for the bin labels that aren't on these bins, because I created them for my own classroom, but I'm going to make them in more colors that are going to be available to you guys. So the pre-sale link is above. They're color-coded bin labels. They're going to be 100% editable for you guys, and they're going to be $1 until I finish them. So you'll be able to go back and download all of them for just the $1 that you pay. You're going to get the size for this, the size for this, the size for these shoe size bins here. You're also going to get the size that I use for their name tags on this. I'm going to include the name tags that I put on their desk, a bunch of different sizes of labels that you'll be able to use to color code your classroom. So it's really going to be easy for you guys to get started, and a great starting place for you guys. Let me scroll back really quick and see if I didn't answer any questions. I know there was some great conversation going on as I was doing the live. So let's see. Sightboard pockets. They're so easy. If my laminator fit those pockets, I made those at the school because I used them on the larger laminator at my last school. So yes, the paint sticks are great for a daily schedule, matching them to larger pictures. Do I think that color coding would work for resource? Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Color paint sticks. I got the paint sticks from, not Home Depot. Yeah, Home Depot. I was going to say Office Depot. Home Depot. I got them for free. I got 99-cent bottle of paint from Michael's for each color, and then I just painted them myself and added a strip of Velcro. It was super easy. I think they hide them behind the table now at Home Depot, but if you ask and tell them you're a teacher, they're pretty chill, and they'll give you a couple. Monitoring rings are amazing. Yay! I'm going to do a live on that next week. Technology can fail at the most inconvenient time. Yes, that's why I print their goals. What else we have? Loaded up on colors, black and white. Yes, I want to get black and white bins so that I can add them to this. I need to find them. Like, I really do need to just buy the really good stuff bins, but you know. Astro Brights and put them into white binders. Yes, you could absolutely do that. That's a great idea. Thank you, Siobhan, for mentioning that. If you don't want to invest in colored binders, like actual, like this is orange, right? You can buy white binders. You can get, I wish I would have pulled it over here, but you can get a 6-pack or I think they're 8-pack, an 8-pack of 1-inch binders at Sam's Club for like super cheap, like $1.50 per binder. You can also get them, Walmart has 4-packs for like $2.47 or something, or $3.47 to back to school. And then print the covers and everything on Astro Brights. Yes, definitely agree with that too. Thank you, Siobhan, for mentioning that. I think that's a great idea. Just looking at it makes me so happy. I know, I love color coding so much. I do not know what I will be teaching this year. Not yet. Yay! Okay, so if you guys have any other questions about color coding or anything linked above, please let me know. I'll go back and link the reading toolkit and the freebie for morning work because I did mention it. And then if you have any questions about really good stuff, I will try to add, because you can buy really good stuff on Amazon. And I will try to add to my Amazon recommendation shop. I will try to add a really good stuff link so you guys can kind of see what I would buy for color coding, or just to give you guys the different options there. And then I'll come back and let you guys know when that's ready. So again, if you have any questions about color coding, please let me know. How long did it take for me to build up my color coding stuff? I had a Lakeshore Learning Store literally like 15 minutes from my house. So I started out with only the number of kids that I had in my class. So I think I had 4 kids that year, 4 or 5. So I invested in 4 or 5 colors, but only in like the book bin. And then that next summer when they had their 20% off sale, I went and got these bins. And then I didn't get the work bins until I was like, I need to have something else for these kids to do. So it took me about 2 years to kind of work up to get all of these things and get it set up. So again, if you guys have any questions, please reach out. I'm so glad that you guys are in the VIP group. And don't forget to come back on Thursday. We'll be talking all about how to make glue sponges. So if you want to make glue sponges, stay tuned to the group and I'll tell you what supplies you need to tune in to that live. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.